In this video, we're going to be looking at the price mechanism. Okay, so in a market economy, okay, so that's very important. In a market economy, resources are allocated by the price of products, okay? So by this price mechanism. So for example, the price of something is high, okay? So something like a house or a car, okay? It's probably going to be a very valuable product, okay? So that's just something that we can just tell by looking at the price of something. It's going to be a valuable product, okay? So an example of the price mechanism at hand is the invisible hand idea, okay, which was this phrase was coined by the economist Adam Smith, okay? So basically this tells us that the price mechanism is working all the time automatically to allocate resources in such a way that creates equilibrium in markets, okay? It's free from opinions. So for example, if your house is worth, £500,000, that's a fact, okay? It's not an opinion. I think it's worth more, I think it's worth less. If the market is £500,000, if it's worth $500,000 and someone has paid for it, it's a fact, okay? And it's free from bias as well, okay? So that's the good thing about the price mechanism. So we have three main functions of prices, okay? The first one is the incentive function, okay? And this function is where higher prices means higher rewards. So if you let's say experience increased demand in a market and people are prepared to pay you more for a product that you're selling, the price mechanism gives you the incentive to produce more of that product, okay? So it's rewarding products where people want more of it and are willing to pay more for it, okay? Because the firm gets more profits in return. The second feature or function of the price mechanism is the signaling function. So this is where prices provide us information, okay? And I mentioned that actually above, where I said a house is expensive, a car is expensive. Straight away, that information that we've got is probably something very valuable, okay? So the signaling function of the price mechanism is exactly the same as this. So for example, you might be driving your car one day, petrol, you look out the window, is 117.9, and then tomorrow it's 120.9. So straight away you're thinking something is provided information to you, okay? The next thing about the price mechanism is the rationing function, okay? And this is where we have higher prices, okay, that act to preserve scarce resources. So if we have a resource that's running out, or we have very limited amount of it, okay, the price mechanism acts to increase prices and ration those resources to those people who can actually afford to pay those prices. So for example, gold, okay? Now there are pros and cons of allocating resources via the price mechanism. So we'll start with the pros. First of all, it's automatic. It's an automatic allocation of resources. So like we said above, the invisible hand idea up here, okay, which means there's no cost to administer it. With markets, with demand and supply, the price mechanism will work automatically to create prices for resources. The second thing is that on the whole, it's an efficient allocation of resources, okay, most of the time. We have less waste. We have products that, let's say for example, businesses, they're looking to produce products that people actually want, people want to pay money for. They're not looking for products that people don't want and people aren't going to pay any money for. So people are always trying to create something of value. Okay, the cons. Now, the downsides of the price mechanism is that it's going to lead to some market failures. So, for example, inequality of income and wealth is likely because some people will earn more than others. Some people will charge higher prices and be rewarded more highly for certain things than other people. Other externalities other market failures like externalities won't be accounted for. Merit goods, demerit goods, and public goods, they will not be accounted for by the price mechanism. The price mechanism just looks at how much of a resource there is and how much people want it, and if producers can produce more of it. But it's not looking at, is it good for us to consume it? Is it good for society, etc.? And also the other thing that it's going to cause is it can cause unemployment for some people who are unable to provide things of value. So for example, someone's disabled, they've lost a limb or something like that, then there's not going to be jobs available for people in those sorts of circumstances, or for people who have lower skill sets as well. So it's quite a harsh mechanism. It does work, however there are some problems with it, and that's why in today's majority of today's economy we have mixed economies, okay, where the government gets involved and tries to correct some of the failures of the market. Okay, so anyway, that's the price mechanism. Any questions, just leave them in the comment section below.